People are talking about making America a Christian nation. Would you support that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The values, thought that's what we built the country on, was my impression, but obviously things got twisted along the way. It's pretty disheartening to see what's going on. So many people are unaware of the just general challenges in life, what's going on behind the scenes on the bad side.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, conspiracy theories, tin hat guy, call it what you will. I've been in the rabbit hole deep in all directions, and over the last couple of years, I've been awake for a long time.
That doesn't sound extensive to me.
I believe it always has been a Christian nation. I believe that there's a covenant with God, and He will not let this country go, and it will come back to what it was supposed to be, out of the slave state.
Explain that a little bit.
What, the slave?
No, what you mean by what it will become what it was supposed to be. And from your perspective, what does that mean?
My perspective is that under godly instruction and biblical principles, as I believe God created government even in the Bible, and there's different ways to do things. The goal is to spread the truth as we know it, share Jesus, which is the ultimate truth.
How do we explain then the slave state part of it?
I believe we became a slave state in 1870 when our birth certificates started to get sold to the companies, and so there's three different kinds of laws out there, and I don't understand it completely.
So were we Christian while we had slavery here?
Well, being Christian is a personal relationship with Jesus Christ.
No, I meant as a nation, because we were talking about being a Christian nation. That's what you had said before.
Well, yeah, we were, but many of us were deceived, and many of us were not accountable due to churches not teaching the truth about different things.
I see.
Just saying, as far as the Christianity, saying as a Christian nation.
Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone of whom I learn from daily. Healthy shalom to the brothers out there doing the work in truth and sincerity. All right, it's the brother Gabar Dama coming back at you. It's probably going to be a quick hitter, but those simple couple little clips I showed you in the beginning here just happened to pop up in my feed, and what you have is this: the so-called American people, man. Whether it be, I'll say this mainly, the boomers, right? They all have this, mostly these boomers have this attitude to where they want to make America Christian again. And you saw undertones of this even in Nero, President Trump's campaign. Okay, you saw undertones of that. Trying everything to get these people on his side, blah blah blah, whatever. But listen, when it comes down to it, this place was never built upon what they call Christian principles. It wasn't built upon Christian principles. It was built upon white supremacy. Simple and plain. It's so-called white supremacy, Edomite supremacy. That's exactly what it was built upon. All right? And so what you have here in front of you is a movie called Idiocracy. All right? And this movie, man, is very, very, very telling about the way these Edomites are. Really, they're a bunch of they fucking stupid, man. Okay, I'm just gonna say it bluntly. They're fucking stupid, straight up. Whether they believe in MAGA, this and that, blah blah blah, and it's all driven by what? Their hatred. And I said it. their hatred for the Israelites, which in fact is you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. But hey, if you go and you watch this movie, you might lose a couple brain cells. Let's be honest. But you'll gain a good understanding, and that's the reason why they made this movie. But you'll gain a good understanding about how Americans really are. They're fucking stupid. All right, they're just stupid, straight up. All right, so let's jump right into it. We'll grab the first scripture. All right, what do they say? This place originally was built on Christian principles, but at the same time had people in slavery. And not just people, as the scripture said, his silver and his gold. Matter of fact, I think that's in Joel. Let's see here. Let's see.
Yeah, I believe that's in the book of Joel. And you saw what you had right in front of you there. P. Diddy, all kinds of distractions. Yes, in the book of Joel. Joel 3 and verse 5, right? Because ye have taken my silver and my gold and have carried into your temples my goodly and pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. And so really, the scriptures go into it and tell you that Jacob is the former of all things, okay? And this place, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, amongst other names, was built on nothing but grape, rob, and murder. All right, off the backs of blacks, Latinos, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And that's a fact. So let's go to the first scripture.
In Nahum 3 and verse 1, it reads, woe to the bloody city. What is that bloody city, brothers and sisters? Achium and Akwath. That bloody city, in fact, is America. All right, it's Babylon. That's the bloody city where the blood from the saints and the rest of the Israelites, even the 2/3, has cried out to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and he has not forgotten their iniquity. He's going to punish the wicked, as he said. Should they go unpunished? No. See, you got to understand and remember this. What that second guy said, he was talking about, going back and doing this and doing that. But then he was posed the question, and the question was what? What was the question? So, were we a Christian nation when we had people in slavery? Which, in fact, he did get something right, though. And I'll expound upon that here in a minute. And, hey, he quickly sort of backtracked and didn't really answer that question. He didn't answer that question. He had no answers for that. All right? Because he's thinking under the guise and under the lines of Christianity. Making a MAGA. Straight up. Because you don't... let me tell you something. If you don't think for a moment, the scripture said, never trust thine enemy, sit him not by thee, lest he take thy seat, right? If you don't think for a moment that if it was posed that all so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans have to go back into slavery, chattel slavery, I'm talking about hardcore slavery, they would be with that shit. That's their form of Christianity. That's why the scripture said, woe means destruction. To the bloody city is all full of lies and robbery, and the prey departeth not. Who's the prey? The prey of the Israelites. Okay? The prey departeth not. Now, let's go here. We're going to jump around just a little bit. Because this scripture right here fits perfectly, especially when he was posed that question, were we a Christian nation when we have people in slavery, right? Well, let's read this. This is Psalm 73rd chapter and verse 6. I read this a lot. I mean, hey, it fits. Verse 6, therefore pride compasses them about as a chain. Violence cover them as a garment. And these are the very same people that are still violent. They never held back. They went too damn far. Yeah, slavery is sanctioned in the Bible. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai said, I will put you under subjection because you didn't listen. And he's talking about the Israelites. Okay? Verse 7, their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt, speaking wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. And that's his way of speaking loftily and wickedly against the oppression that was done to the Israelites here in Babylon by him not even answering that question. You see that? They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Therefore his people return hither, and the waters or of a full cup are wrung out to them. And you see that happening right now. This is prophecy. See that? It's prophecy happening right in front of your face. So yeah, woe to the bloody city, man. It's full of lies and robbery. Even in the schools, when they say separation of a church and state, you know what they meant was basically is keep them niggas asleep, man. We don't want them knowing things. It was a highly redacted Bible called the Slave Bible they gave to us, and at first they wouldn't even let us read because they know who we are. They've been knowing who we are. All right. So yeah, they speak oppressive against us. Psalms 59 verse 12. For their sin of their mouth and the words of their lips, let them even be taken in pride. There's that word again. And for cursing and lying, which they speak. All right. They are liars. The scripture said your enemies shall be found a liar. Matter of fact, why are they called enemies? Because they are all Confederate. I'm talking about all nations, but in particular, Esau, Edom's going to get it. Now, I was listening intently to what Apostle Gabor had to say yesterday in his lesson. And it just so happened that he was talking about this too, he said how we're going to get out of the slave state. And yeah, hey, what he said was the truth. You know, hey, as you know, as the word as it says, you know, eat the meat, spit out the bones. But there was a little bit of meat to what he said about the birth certificates and slavery. OK, and all that rings back to the 13th Amendment and several other things. What happened to the Israelites, OK, was this and insequential, you know, also to the Edomites when the birth certificates came about. Now, the first birth certificate, what is basically what do you call it? Slavery. It's let me see if I can articulate my words correctly. It's a certificate of slavery is what it is. See, you are a slave to the state. In the 13th Amendment, what does it say? We'll go to it. United States slave birth records, family search historical records. Okay. All right. This is not exactly what I wanted here, though. United States slave birth records, 1780 to 1846. No, this is, let's see, African American. What the hell is an African American? Anyway, genealogy, blah, 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 blah. This is not exactly what I wanted, but, you know, hey, look it up in your own time. Okay, Salakia, I brought it up, and I can't really go into it because I don't have the right stuff pulled up here. Let's see if I can find United States slave birth records. Federal records that help identify former enslaved people. Nope, not what I wanted. All right, so it's pretty clear I'm not going to get what I want here. So Salakia for bringing it up and not being able to edify you on that subject. I'll look it up later and see if I can, you know, put it in the lesson and give you a further edification on that subject there. Okay, the history of voluntary slave birth. This might be a little bit closer. All right, the history of voluntary slave birth, settlement certificates. Yeah, there we go. Why to you how about Shimmy Yahushua? It's basically a birth certificate is not making a covenant, but basically signing yourself over, or your parents and your mother or whatever, signing yourself over to the slave system. The same way the Emancipation Proclamation said, you know, and look, they're free. But what happened, what really truly happened is this. The slaves, you know, the Israelites, I'll just say it like that, got privatized, man. You know? So no, Salaki, I said that wrong. Went from private ownership to government ownership. And that's a fact. A settlement certificate, also known as a birth certificate. There you go. Very good. All right. 1837 is an official document issued to validly record poor, granting them certain basic rights. That's bullshit. All right. It's the entitlement benefits in exchange for recognition of their status. as being owned as property, but that's sort of the opposite. And lawful slaves, and lawful slaves, and known as indentured servants and bondsmen, in which is slaves. All right, a settlement therefore is equivalent to a voluntary slave plantation. Wow, interesting. So we can go back to that scripture, and it said in Psalms, according to oppression, they speak loftily. Okay, and I read this a lot here, and I'm gonna read it too. Matter of fact, to the 13th Amendment, and then I'll read Baruch 3. All right, in the 13th Amendment, what does it say? Okay, and you cannot forget that even that nigga was a devil. Yeah, I said it. What's his name? Abraham Lincoln. He was a damn demon. Matter of fact, I think he owned slaves too. Okay, not just think. The scripture said, "Prove all things." I've looked it up before. It doesn't particularly say that he did, but it doesn't say that he didn't either. So you already know the score, right? Anyway, 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution. All right, what does this read here? Let's see. Let's read the 13th Amendment. It said almost all slaves. Let's see. What does it read? 13th Amendment. Okay, damn. So I should have read that. There we go. Section 1. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except as punishment for a crime. Do you hear that? I've gone over this before. Hey, the scripture said they are all of them hid in prison houses. That's going into the countries and the places and the cities or whatnot where Yahweh Shem Yahshua scattered us. But for the most part, over here in America, this is nothing but a big ass prison house, man. Okay? So yeah, we are yet to stay in our captivity, and they refuse to let us go, and they speak loftily concerning oppression, and they have more than heart could wish. It's all there. Anyway, wherefore the party have been duly convicted, which is all lies, because these laws that they make up and all that are against Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It's against the true law, which is the Bible. Okay, or the laws that are written therein. Okay, in the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Hey, well, let's go here. Since it said their jurisdiction, let's read this, and then we'll read Book of Baruch. Habakkuk 2 and verse 5. What does it say? Yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he's a proud man, neither keeper at home. What does jurisdiction mean? Let's go to the word jurisdiction, and we'll look up jurisdiction and see what the definition of jurisdiction is.
Jurisdiction. All right, the official power to make legal decisions and judgments, but it's in a certain place though. Take for instance, if you have I don't know where I live, it's the Watauga County Police Department, right, or Boone Police Department, right? Well, the sheriffs go to the outskirts of the town or whatever, blah blah blah. Well, the police department doesn't have jurisdiction in all of Watauga County. Okay, that's what that means. Anyway, the extent of power to make legal decisions and judgments, system of law, courts, a jurisdictor, or whatever. I said it wrong. I don't give a shit. Be honest. The territory or sphere of there we go. The territory or sphere of activity over which the legal authority of a court or other institutions exists. Right. So let's go back and read this. Oh, this is making so much more sense. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except, so that means somebody's still a slave. See that? Except as a punishment for a crime, wherefore the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. So let's go to Habakkuk. Yea, also because he is a transgressor by wine, he's a proud man, neither keeper at home, who is large, his desire is hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heaping unto himself all people. That's out of his jurisdiction, but not really, because the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. You see that? Simple and plain. All right? And I'll leave it right there. Just like that. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kwadash. All right? Yet again, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who I learn from daily. All right? Hey, check it out. Every chance you get, chant this place down. Kwam Yasharala and Wa Abai Baba.